All right, bestie, let's talk about glow ups. No, I do not just mean for your skincare or your gym routine, but I am talking about your health, okay? Meet DNAcomplete.com. It is the ultimate way to level up your well-being and understand your DNA. Unlike those other basic ancestry tests that barely scratch the surface, DNAcomplete.com uses whole genomic sequencing to analyze 100% of your DNA. Translation, you get over 350 in-depth reports about your health, wellness, and even your ancestry. But here's the deal. Your DNA isn't your destiny, but understanding it is the first step to living your best life. Want to know more about your genetics and how they can impact your skin, fitness goals, or even how you snack? DNAcomplete.com has all the answers. So whether you're planning your next big health move or you're just curious about what makes you you, well, check out DNAcomplete.com and start your journey today, because knowledge isn't just power, it is a total glow up. Okay? Brittany Wisniewski, welcome to After Curfew.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, girl. 2 months ago, right? It was the finale.
It was, yeah.
Okay, so what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Kind of just navigating this new lifestyle with still having a job and traveling far more than I ever did, and just being way more busy. I feel like I have 2 full-time jobs now.
I mean, you do, yeah. I feel like after Love is Blind, it's just like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Which is so, okay, so I was like looking you up, being like a little stalker this morning. You do so much for the environment.
Oh, thank you.
Why was this not talked about on Love is Blind?
I know, everyone's been saying that. I've gotten so many comments of people going to my page like, why didn't you talk about this? And I'm like, I did. You're just, not in control of what's shown. I think there's like a literal half a second clip of me being like, I pick up trash. Yeah, in the pod. I think it's on the first episode in the pods.
Yeah.
But no one called it for sure.
I was so impressed by that. I was like looking through your Instagram, and then I like looked more into it, and I was like, okay, this girl, she's like the blonde Mother Teresa, just doing it all. And I'm like, why was this not discussed? But what was discussed was the trauma and drama of Leo and your relationship.
Yes.
You guys are friends now.
Yeah.
Homies.
He called me this morning, but I was too in a rush. I was like, I gotta go.
How has that been? After filming, you guys had a brief moment in Miami. And now friends, like, how did that all manifest?
I feel like I usually stay friends with people I've dated in the past. Not really so much anymore, but I just never like to leave things in a bad place. And I don't know, we just kind of kept chit-chatting after Miami, and, hung out in DC with like the cast, and we just realized, I mean, it was such a short-lived romantic situation, so there wasn't we didn't go through anything like the couples who kept being filmed, because who knows if we kept being filmed and went through things on camera, if we would be as good of friends as we are. So I think we had an advantage in that.
It is really interesting because a lot of people did peg you guys as like, you're on there for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
And if you were on there for all the wrong reasons, I feel like you would have gone to the honeymoon or whatever, like the vacation with the cast.
Yeah.
But you guys chose not to. So I feel like that just proved to me.
Well, we didn't choose not to.
Wait, shut up. What happened?
Yeah, we were chosen not to. Yeah.
Is this like known tea?
I don't know how known it is, really.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, so typically, I didn't know this, but typically every season, more couples than are shown get engaged. And they only follow the most in-love couples to Mexico or wherever, they're going, which was clearly not us. And I'd never even told him I love you, whereas all the other girls are like, I love him. And I'm like, oh, bitch, I am not going to Mexico.
You're like, I'm not getting the ticket there.
I knew I was not going. It was 7 couples, and typically they said they were going to take 5, but they chose 6, so we were the only ones left out.
Okay, so if you had the opportunity, you two would have been on camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, I had no idea. That's great on you two for actually trying to give it a shot. Because those other couples that probably didn't make it to Mexico are probably like, all right, screw it. Like, our TV time is done.
Yes.
And it just didn't work. It fizzled.
Yep. Had I went to Mexico, I feel like whenever you're in a relationship that you're not supposed to be in, someone's going to look bad. Yeah, it just worked out. The less airtime of us,
the better.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, literally.
For us, maybe not the audience, because we would have been entertaining for sure.
I know. I was disappointed. I'm like, this is the storyline that I'm tuning in for every week, and we're not going to see it?
Yeah.
No. But it is really interesting what you said. Like, the universe will definitely tell you when things are not right. Like, on your finale, your body language, you saw the finale, or did you not watch it?
Yeah, I did.
Like, how was that? Like, when you first saw him, the doors are opening.
Okay, I had pictured him almost to a T. I had pictured 2 versions of him, and honestly, I would have preferred the version that I saw and I got, or else I thought he was going to be like really short and nerdy and have glasses. And he was not. He was just tall, and like, I was just in shock. And my body, I was like, this is not my husband. I just didn't know. I literally like malfunctioned.
Yeah.
And then he immediately went in for a kiss. But in that moment, he was the most comforting thing, because I talked to him behind a wall for like 20 hours, you know? So I just kind of like leaned into him for comfort, but also it's like a complete stranger in the physical form.
Right.
I didn't know what to do.
I mean, there's so many emotions going through. And then I feel like he was like, damn, I just bagged a bad bitch. Like, he was so excited. And you're just like, ugh.
Yeah,
and
like, what have I done?
So, like, it was cringe in a way, but, like, in the best way. Like, not cringe for you, but just, like, the whole thing, it was like, oh, it's so apparent that he's so into this. It's so apparent that she's not into this.
Yeah, and then you just build such a strong relationship where I was like, okay, I need, like, you're just confused. You're built literally a relationship with this person. So you feel obligated to kind of see it through, and you just feel like responsible for his emotions, because I knew he was into me. So it was just, it took a while to navigate that situation peacefully.
Yeah, but I mean, you have.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of, the dust has settled.
Yeah, so I'm glad we went to Miami. I'm glad we didn't just end things like over text or something, like go home separately and just never talk to each other again, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you guys really did just like handle it in the best way.
Yeah.
But one thing we got to know now.
Yeah.
Because you moved on, girl. I've seen the tabloids. I've seen TMZ. I've seen it all. What's going on with Matson?
I did get TMZ'd last night, didn't I?
You got TMZ'd last night?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what do you guys do? You guys just like stand outside of these like Craig's or like whatever restaurant?
No, I literally, this is my second time in LA, and
how do they know though? Like, that's what I want to know.
Like, I think they
Professional
just stay
stalkers.
outside. Yeah.
They stay outside.
They just stay outside
ready.
of certain places. They stay ready.
They do stay ready. Okay, well, what's going on?
You know, we've been hanging out. I like him a lot. He's an amazing guy.
How did this whole relationship come about? Because I did see on TikTok there was a video of him calling you out at a show. Is that actually how you met, or did you slide in his DMs, or did he slide? You're not a DM slider, actually. I can't see you doing that. Or did you?
I will keep that between us, but we did meet in DC. Yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah, that was like a lore I didn't see coming.
Me either.
But girl, you
literally
just
me either.
like went for it. I was like, all
I feel
right.
like I'm equally as surprised, for sure.
But I think honestly it makes sense, because like going back to the pause, like you talked about, like you're like, I date rock stars, I date like all these people. I'm like, okay, it's on brand then.
Yes.
It really is. I feel like people would say that you were like there for the money. Like that was like a big thing that you kind of got bullied about.
Yes.
Like on the internet, people were like, oh, she's a gold digger. Oh, she's just there for the money. Like as soon as she heard that Leo had anything like that, she's like, I'm all in. First of all, I don't think it's wrong to want to date somebody who is successful.
Yeah.
And I think it's such an interesting conversation, because you talked about the 50-50 in the pods. I feel like everyone just was so mean to you about it, where it's like, okay, that's what you, that I feel like, why would you not, like, if someone's making more money, why would you be 50-50?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, okay, so I will say Leo and I didn't talk about finances until I would say about 4 days in. And each day we kind of had a different topic. And that day in particular was finances. If you're getting married, how would you navigate finances? And he was my last date of the day. And I could tell the money mindset of the other men I was dating. And I was like, this is not going to work out. And then when I got to Leo, I'm like, fuck, he's my last chance. And also he was the only one I was feeling literally since day 2. Like, he was really, I just kind of had the other guys around, because I don't know, you don't want to dwindle it down too much, because your feelings can change.
Well, he also had options.
Yeah.
So I would be like, I gotta be safe.
I was
like,
his one and only. But
that whole, we'll get into that later, but I'm like, that was so dramatic.
So the other guy said 50-50, and I'm like, ugh, this is not going to work out.
Sorry, babe.
I've been pretty spoiled in relationships. I've been very well treated. And I mean, not to say if I was super in love with someone, like I wouldn't mind splitting the bills and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was just like he said, not 50-50, you know, and then we had the little money talk. But I promise I was feeling him well before that.
Yeah, of course. And I think that was at least apparent to me that you guys were already vibing and connecting.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so funny how everyone was just like throwing you through the ringer with that one.
Yeah, and I did like how he was like, I just want you to contribute a little bit, just so it doesn't feel like a draining situation on his end, which I do, I respect that as well. And I think people really just thought I wanted to just sit at home and do nothing and be a housewife. I'm like, I have so many fucking hobbies. Like, I pick up trash. Like, I picked up 12,000.
But they're just picking up trash, you guys.
I write books. Like, I'm never, even if I had the richest man in the world, I would never do nothing. Like, I just have things to do all the time. Yeah. I just don't want to do a job that I just have to have for money, you know? So I have a nice, rich husband, like, I can do better things in the world. I can put my energy into my hobbies and environmental work. So that's where my mind goes.
No,
I think people thought I was just lazy.
No, and you do so much. Like the fact that you're also an author.
Yeah.
Your book. Like, let's talk about that for a minute. So you wrote a book that is to prevent cancer.
Let me backtrack a little bit. My mom died from cancer when I was 19, and I was not really aware of natural health at all. When she died, I was going through her belongings and I found a book called Crazy Sexy Cancer by Chris Carr and a DVD, and I watched it literally the day after she died. I watched this DVD, and it's all about how this Chris Carr basically stopped the progression of her cancer using diet and nutrition and detoxification therapies. And I saw, that was like my grieving process. I was like, oh my God, how did I not know she had this DVD? I would have made her juice. I would have been doing all the healthy shit with her, you know? Yeah. So then it sent me down a spiral. I literally got obsessed with learning about natural health and like alternative cancer prevention therapies and stuff, like for 10 years. It was really like an obsession, and I think that's how I grieved. And I would go to all these natural cancer conferences, The Truth About Cancer, and I'd literally meet people who healed their cancer naturally, because it can be done. And I did all these different online courses and stuff, and then I finally felt like I had learned enough, and I just brain dumped it all into a book. But the book, I just wanted to be like a book about detoxification, but my publisher kind of made me niche it down in a way where it's like, if you had cancer and you want to now get healthy after cancer, how can you go about doing that? Like food things, what environmental factors can decrease your risk factors of getting cancer? So I just brain dumped that all in a book. Everything's sourced and from like cancer.org and stuff. It's just not things I just like randomly made up.
Yeah, not like making it up. Okay.
Yeah, and that is my book.
No, I think that's such a beautiful, like, tribute back to your mom.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's like, I was like really impressed when I was like looking through that this morning. I was like, wow, like author, environmentalist, like bad bitch, like, okay, period. No, that's, yeah. I mean, because my dad, he had colon cancer and he like luckily survived. You can do so much and you just don't have that. Like you do have the information because like, hello, just like open up the internet. But a lot of people just don't go looking for it.
Yeah.
Like there is so much interesting information to like really retrain and like re-heal yourself.
Yeah, and it's not, I'm also, I want to make this clear, like I'm not against modern medicine, because I think something that happened after the show, which kind of surprised me, I was getting a lot of hate for my book. There's a whole Reddit thread about my book.
What?
Yes, it's crazy. People would leave me the meanest comments about my book. And I would delete them. I'd be like, F that. I don't care. Online bullying, I will fight back.
You clap back.
Yeah. And like people saying things about my dead mother. Ooh.
Oh.
But anyway, so about my book, people are like, she's too dumb to write a book about cancer. This is so irresponsible. She's telling people to heal their cancer naturally. I'm like, you did not read my book. Everything is literally sourced from cancer.org. Do not trust the government source. Like, it was just wild to me.
That's mental. And I think what's funny about that too, I feel like every reality show, they have like the victim, the dumb blonde, this, like that. You kind of get like characterized in a way. Yeah. And I think that you probably, like people probably did that a bit with you.
Yeah.
So knowing that you're not just pretty, like you have more depth to you, probably like triggered people because it's like, okay, I'm pretty and I'm smart. What are you gonna do about that, bitch? You know
That's
what
so
I mean?
funny. That's what a lot of my friends said too.
Yeah,
They said,
it's one of those like insecurity things, and I feel like whenever people bully or like it's like if you like are typing shit behind your screen and you think you're fucking brave, it's like you're such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like just take a seat. Like I don't know, it's like heal whatever you have to heal. Like you don't need to
Yes.
like keep that energy here. So you're recently on a podcast and you're talking about how after you got off the show, you were like went to a shaman.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're like not like holy. What is it?
Spiritual, yes. I grew up very Christian though, and I still pray to God and stuff. I see the beauty in every religion, which is something me and Leo talked about a lot, even in Judaism. And I mean, me and Leo will say a Jewish prayer for me, and like we're strange.
Would
like,
you have like gone to Judaism?
Yeah.
You really would have?
Yeah, that was the main factor.
You're like Charlotte York from Sex and the City. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, he asked me if I would convert, and I said yes.
But okay, so you went to a shaman. Sorry.
The shaman, yes. Okay,
both
so
just, like,
after
took a
the
beat.
show, I don't know what happened to me because nothing crazy happened. It was just a totally different situation. I mean, you're just exhausted. You're being filmed all the time. And I just would look in the mirror when I got back home, and my eyes were not my eyes looking back. It was honestly a little creepy. I felt like something else was looking back at me, and I said, oh shit, like I think I picked up on some negative
Vibes.
something.
Yeah.
Nothing I did was course correcting that, and I still just felt this emptiness inside of me. So I got recommended a shaman who does soul retrieval.
What the fuck is soul retrieval?
So basically when you go through a traumatic, and something a little traumatic happened to me before the show too, and she would go to different times in your lives where you've went through something a little traumatic, and you kind of leave a piece of your soul there, or a piece of your energy behind. It's like stuck in that place or in that timeline, or with someone, or someone could take it from you. Like something that she said was an ex was holding on to me too deeply, that it was like he was holding onto my energy so much that it was preventing me from being like a whole person. So she basically just like went in and took my soul fragments back from like the set of Love is Blind, from this ex I had, from a childhood trauma, from like different things in my life. And I'm telling you, immediately felt better.
Whoa.
It was wild. I feel like I should probably do it again. It's been a year.
I'm like, I feel like I need to do this. I've done
Yeah.
like something kind of like that. Like, I don't know if you consider her like a shaman, but she's more of like an energy healer.
Yeah.
And it was something like that. We like went through like different traumas and stuff, but it really does really cleanses a bitch. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it is just your own.
I know, I'm like, it might just be the
whatever
placebo,
works.
but
Yeah.
like it doesn't even matter. Like you're now feeling whole.
Yeah.
But that's so true. Like the ties that you have, like the trauma bonds, I guess you would call them, or soul ties.
Soul ties,
that you would have with like a partner.
I'm so big on cleansing my energy after past partners, to the point where if I've been sexual with someone and I've moved on from them, I refuse to say their name. Yeah, because I don't want to call back that energy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your zodiac sign?
Cancer.
Oh, girl, you're like an emotional.
Yes,
Emotional
double
one.
Cancer.
And what else?
Capricorn rising, which people, I have a very stoic face. I feel like I have a total bitch face most of the time. And it's just like, I'm a total softie. It's just my Capricorn.
After Love is Blind, do you feel like you've learned a lot? I feel like you learn a lot of lessons once you enter your 30s and dating and all that. But like, did you feel like that was a huge learning experience dating wise?
Yes. I tend to be very quiet and observant and bad at communication. And literally all you have to do in Love is Blind is talk and communicate. And I feel, and they give you such amazing prompts for asking, you know, your partner back and forth questions.
Oh, they give you stuff to like
to
get
play
the
off of.
conversation going?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool. Okay.
And then we had those little like card games, like Big Talk and stuff. So I feel like that just made me so comfortable, like moving forward, asking deeper questions. And yeah, I felt it really like prepped me for a husband, I think. I will say I was in a relationship most of my 20s.
Okay.
From like 18 to 26.
18 to 26.
Yeah. It was two different guys, but it's back to back. I was not single most of my 20s, which I will forever be grateful, because I feel like that kept me out of a lot of trouble.
See, most people regret that.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Wow.
For sure. And it was fun. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked the person. It was just, that's such a time where you change so much on a yearly basis. So I think we just grew apart. But yeah, I don't regret that at all.
Yeah, keeping you out of trouble. That's so funny. But it's so, yeah, the 20s, like you said, like every year you're changing into like a new version of yourself. I feel like I guess every point of life you're doing that. You're always evolving, but especially your 20s, it's such like a decade of fuckery and like learning and like figuring out what you want, what you don't want, what works, what doesn't. And it's just like overstimulation times 1,000.
I mean, if I have children, I would really preach to them not to get married in your 20s.
This is what I don't understand. So many people get married so early. And like, if you do that, kudos to you, but you are still a child. I still feel like a damn child. I'm in my 30s. I'm like, I am not ready for this.
No.
Birth? Absolutely not. You don't know who you are yet. Right? Like,
For sure.
it's so interesting to me. And I think like people are always also like, oh, like you can't get married too old. Like you don't be an old bride. It's like,
yeah. And I mean, maybe I just didn't meet the right person back then. Maybe if I met someone back then, I would be super sure, but I can't imagine that. You just got to learn in your 20s.
You definitely
and have
have
fun. And have fun.
Yeah. Do you feel that you were ready? Like when you signed on to Love is Blind, were you like, yes, if this happens, I'm going to be fully committed?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like the relationship I was in before Love is Blind, I really took that person seriously as a potential husband.
Okay.
And it didn't work out like that, but I was definitely ready. And that was definitely what I was, hoping for and seeking for. I felt like I've had enough fun. Like I am good. I do not need to date anymore at all. I've had my fun. So yeah, I was just really looking for my husband. So I feel like if I'm dating someone, it's only because I see a future with them.
Do you think dating as you get older becomes easier or harder?
Ooh, I want to say both.
Really?
I feel like harder in terms of choices and options because for me, like I'm not going out like I did in my 20s. I'm not going to places where I would meet people, but then there's online dating and stuff.
Right.
But I feel like easier because you become more confident and sure of what you want.
It does get easier, I think, because it's like you'll date and then you'll be like, okay, this was not it. Like you're not putting so much of like a pressure on it.
Yeah.
I feel like in my 20s, I always was like, okay, well, what happened? Why didn't this work? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? And it's like, okay, no, things just don't work. Like, thank you next time and you'll be good. Like, just move the fuck on.
My biggest pet peeve is when people that get older, like our age and older, are dating someone and they're like, oh, I just wasted so much time with them. I've been with them for a year, so I have to stay with them. Like they don't see this potential future with someone else. And I'm like, oh, you are just keeping yourself in a lower vibration that you are going to regret far more later. And you're just wasting more time. I feel like people just really need to feel more hope.
Yeah, I would never look at a breakup or like an end of anything as bad. I'm like, okay, well, this is my level up. This is like my opportunity to fucking do better and figure out what's like more aligned with me. And I think that if we all just looked at like breakups or like if someone rejects you, it's like, okay, cool. Like that just means something more aligned is coming in. Like not this, but better. I just don't think people have that mindset.
Yeah.
And if like you could tell the 20-something bitch that, it would be like, sorry, not bitch. I've been saying bitch so much. Girl, if you could tell the 20-something girl that, I feel like it would just be so much easier because there's such a pressure of like figuring it out and having a person and like the ring, the white picket fence. Like,
It is not all about that. That's something I was very attached to, like wanting back in my 20s, like 26, my best friend got married and I was with someone for such a long time. I was really attached to that idea of having that ring, that baby, that early family life. And it was really devastating when that didn't happen. I felt like I couldn't see the future.
Yeah.
But literally, I wrote down a list of everything and I want in a partner. And I just kept getting closer and closer to that person because there's literally like 7 billion people in the world. Like that person is out there.
Yeah.
It just sucks not having that person. And there are times where you feel hopeless and like they don't exist, but literally every time, as long as you continue to grow, you're going to keep attracting better and better.
Yeah.
But if you stay the same, you're probably not going to attract that ideal person that you have.
And the list, like I did that too. like after, like before my partner now, like I had a really fucked up situation and I was like, okay, I'm writing this list and every time I go on a date, I'm going back to this list. I'm not just debriefing with the group chat, I'm debriefing with myself. I just used it as like a casting call. I'm like, yeah, sorry babe, exit stage left because you're not reading the requirements here, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I burned mine after Love is Blind. I'm telling you, I was in a low place.
Girl, you were going through it. The shaman burning
I
shit.
literally burned this list. I was like, he doesn't exist.
Oh.
And then, but I think it's kind of like when you let go, that person comes in.
I know. It's like always people say, like, once you stop trying.
Yeah.
Because you put so much pressure. And, like, I feel like when you have that emphasis, like, nothing really good comes from an unauthentic
being in a
place.
desperate state. Like, you're never going to attract someone if you're feeling just desperate. Because they're going to sense that.
What do you think was the most dramatic part of the season? I know you didn't fully watch it, but you did live it. And I'm sure you guys all talked. But was there something that didn't show?
For me or anyone else?
Either for you or for everyone.
For me, it was the whole Leo and Hannah situation. Because I literally did not know that I was so sure on him that when...
That was
I literally
awful.
Accidentally said his name. Okay, you got to understand, that name thing, people think I did that on purpose. But I did not at all. And I'm just like, I would never do that.
Right.
But when you're in the pods for a certain amount of time, and this time it was like 5 hours or something. And whenever the girls in the lounge hear the door open before the time is up, you kind of, in our minds, like assume that person had gotten broken up with because it was prime, like, cutting down, dwindling down. Yeah. I was like, no, I just have to go pee. Like, everything's good, you know? Because people would just be dropping like flies during that little part. And I said his name and I was like, fuck, because we were very careful about not kind of telling each other who we were dating. And I think there's some girls that, you know, shared and stuff, but we kind of kept it to where we would maintain peace in the women's quarters.
Yeah. And
I accidentally said his name. And that's when I figured out that he was also talking to Hannah. And... yeah, that just got really crazy. Crazy really quickly. And they had that big blow-up fight, which was wild to see on camera because Hannah kind of tried to tell me what happened, but not so much in a detailed way where I would have stopped talking to Leo, you know, if that makes sense. So I don't think I would have, if I was a fly on the wall and I really heard the details of that conversation, I definitely would have left for sure.
Yeah, because I think he called her his twin flame.
Oh,
I would have lost it.
I did not know that until I was watching it. First, I was like crying. So it was just like bringing back. And I was like, oh my God, I would have killed him. I would have tore down the wall for sure.
Yeah, that was very dramatic. I felt like I was watching a temper tantrum from like a 5-year-old. But like now we love Leo. We really do. Like you two both had such a redemption.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't
and you know
see
why?
Because we do manifestations every day.
You guys, it's manifestations.
We do positive affirmations.
Shamans, burning the list. But yeah, you guys really did like get a good...
Thank you.
You didn't get the best edit, but then you really redeemed yourself.
Yeah, that first edit, oh my gosh. The first episode, I was like, what? It was like basically all this stupid shit I said in like a 5-minute montage. I was like, oh my God, I have to delete everything. I can never come back from this.
Because you really do just go silent, right? And then the first episode airs and then it's just, your world just explodes, right?
Yeah.
Because no one really knows that you're on the show. I'm sure you have to like sign stuff, like NDAs.
Yeah.
So like you can't really yap about it unless it's like your friends.
I will never forget the first negative comment I got because it came out at 3 a.m. Eastern time. So like 12 o'clock. LA time.
Oh, okay.
And I went to Miami with my best friend who lives there, and we stayed up all night watching it. We stayed until 3 a.m. to like watch the first drop of episodes. And as soon as I finished watching them all, I checked my phone, and the first comment I got was like, "You look like you're 50 years old." And I was like, and I'm fucking sleep deprived. I'm so tired. And I just cried. I went into her bedroom. I'm like, ah. And then I honestly have never cried since. Like the
good. You just got to get it out.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know.
I can't imagine. Like just being like waking up and everyone's like, oh, we hate you. It's like, okay, great. Love that for me. No. Was there any like off-camera romance with anybody from the cast that you had that we didn't really get to see? Or was it really just Leo from the jump?
Yeah, it was just Leo.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't really into anyone except for Leo.
I think when you know what you want,
yeah,
it's kind of easy to just like cipher through everybody and like pick the best option. And obviously we knew we got a little money, honey. So that worked.
Yeah, no tea on that for me.
In the show, like the cast, who do you think was the most unauthentic person there?
I don't think any of the girls. I feel like we were all honestly so kumbaya. We even had a game in the lounge, which wasn't shown, where we would hide this little, it almost looked like a voodoo doll, to be honest. So Dylan made this voodoo doll out of a paper towel, and we called it the Perfect Man, and we would hide him around the lounge, and whoever found it, we would have to give a positive affirmation to too. So honestly, I don't think any of the girls were there for...
That's so cute.
Yeah, inauthentic reasons. And even if you weren't there for good reasons, you can't fake that for 2 weeks, all day, every day. You know, like you're going to eventually submit to the experiment.
Yeah, I will say it never felt like any of the women were inauthentic or like wanting something more.
Yeah.
But I will definitely say there were a few men that seemed, and also I'm not going to lie.
Men, I didn't even think of the men.
Oh yeah, for men. Tell us.
I always think about how like a man going on, if I was a guy, like would I want to go on a reality show?
Okay, I'm not going to lie. It kind of gives me the ick.
Yeah.
Like what? This is for the girls.
I agree, to be honest.
I'm not trying to be mean, but
I really
why
agree.
Are you here? But did that like kind of confuse you? Because you're obviously on the show looking for a partner who signed up, did the same thing as you. Did that like kind of throw you a bit? Because like it is a bit scary. These people could potentially just be here for the clout. Like did that ever go through your head?
Honestly, it didn't for the guys. It was just kind of like, does my future husband really want to be on Love is Blind?
Yeah.
That for sure did cross my mind.
So when you applied, you were just applying like for Love is Blind, or were you applying for like Netflix shows?
I do anything when it comes to me in threes. I think that's like a universal sign that I should do something or look into something.
Okay.
So 2 of my friends had sent me the casting that they were coming to DC, and I was like, I didn't apply. I just was like, oh, that's cool. I had it in the back of my head. Yeah. And then I was randomly checking my inbox, and the casting had reached out to me. But back then I was not checking my request. And I see them and I'm like, okay, now it has come in threes and I should fill out this application.
Wait, I love that. The rule of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rule of 3, so mote it be.
So mote it be?
So mote it be. It's like a witchy kind of craft thing. It's like the power of 3. Yeah, I don't know. So you do think, so like me and a few of my girlfriends do affirmations every day, and it's my friend Valerie, my friend Kathy, and it's like the 3 of us together are stronger than individuals.
Not to make it morbid, but people always say like death always happens in 3. Yeah. So like there's always
it's a universal number, I guess. I don't know.
Something to it. Okay, so then you went through the process, and then
I knew as soon as I filled out the application, which took forever. I was like, do I really want this? It took me an hour. I was like, if you don't do it, someone else is gonna. So I just kept filling it out. Then after the first call, I was like, I just had this feeling. I was like, I'm getting casted. And it's weird because I filled out job applications and stuff before, and you like, sometimes there's a feeling of hoping that you get it. Yeah. But this was like, I'm going to be on this show. Yeah. I don't know. I just knew it.
I think like when you're very like in tune and like things go really well, it's like, okay, you can sense. Like,
and a lot of the other girls felt that way too. They were like, I don't know why I filled it out. And I was like, I got this for some reason.
Damn. I love that. I feel like, like you were saying how you guys all had like the voodoo doll and you guys were super close. Do you still talk to all the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, a group of us just have a group chat, and we have plans for Sunday. And I feel like we all clicked off a little bit for sure, naturally, because some of us live in Baltimore, some of us live in DC. And I always tell the girls this too. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, if there's any drama or anything going on, I'm like, at the end of the day, this was 15 completely different women, completely different people. We probably wouldn't naturally gravitate towards each other in real life. So if we naturally kind of separate into different groups, like, who cares? Like, we all got along so well on the show. It was crazy. Yeah. And it's just like nothing personal. It's at the end of the day, having 15 women together, how far we made it, being such a good, strong group of women that support each other is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I will say the girlhood, like, of this, I don't know why I said girlhood, the girlhood of the season, like, you guys really, like, there was no real drama. Like everyone just really supported each other, because sometimes, you know, things can get seedy going after the same man. But yeah, even like with you and Hannah, you guys kept it so like professional in a way. Like you didn't really like spill the tea too much, unless, I mean, I know you had like the mix up where you said the name, but there was really, no drama within like the girls and guys. I guess the guys had a little bit of drama, but not really.
We are actually, I think, one of the older Love is Blind cast too. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. We might have been the oldest collectively.
And that's how I think it should be. Because you look at like other like previous seasons, and then you look at like The Bachelor and all that. It's like, let's get people who are actually ready for marriage. Like a 23-year-old is not ready for marriage.
That was something that a lot of people made comments on, like how much they loved that.
I keep that too. I think the first, because I love like looking at people's ages. I'm so fucking weird. Like if I'm like vibing with someone, I'm like, how old are they? No, like I'm like, oh, I respect them more because they're like in their 30s or something. Do you ever do that or no?
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Yeah, just like if I see someone like random on TV, I'm like, damn, she's 35. Okay, love that. But like, it really did show there was like a lot more maturity. Like certain couples, maybe they weren't that mature, but what's that one dude? The braid?
Ramses.
Ooh. Someone's got to cut that off. Someone's got to go when he's sleeping.
I don't know if he's still there anymore. I'm not sure.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's changed his hair.
And they said, I don't know if he's here anymore. I'm like, oh my God, where did he go? Everyone was really thrown by the...
I know.
It reminds me of like when you were a kid and you go to the Bahamas, or like someone would come back from like vacation and they have like the little beads. Like,
when I was little, I got one in Disney, like the little hair braid.
The hair wraps.
Yeah, the hair wrap. And I was like 5, and this was my first time in Florida, and they have the little lizards everywhere, and I was petrified of these little lizards.
Yeah.
So I was like changing into pajamas, and that little braid fell on my shoulder, and I thought it was a lizard, and I went screaming, and I ran out of the resort all the way down the hall because I thought a lizard was attacking me.
No, I
have PTSD.
Those little lizards can move, and they are absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But yes, those beads, his braid was just giving me that. I'm like, babe, who took you on spring break? Like, it was just very nostalgic. Okay, so overall, the experience of Love is Blind, lots of highs, lots of lows. What was the number one thing that you took away from that?
Better communication. I feel like that's such a catalyst for personal growth. I said that 1,000 times, but that's just an unusual situation that not many people can experience. And I think anything you do that goes out of your comfort zone, you're going to grow exponentially. And my biggest pet peeve is people who just stay in a comfort zone. And not like everyone can be on like a TV show or do anything, but you can just push yourself further and further and further and just do something different once a week. Don't stay in the same routine. So I think it was just a big push towards another level for me.
Right. Yeah, like finding one thing like that scares you and just kind of pushing those limits.
Yeah, and honestly, just being publicly scrutinized, the way I've built a backbone and a throat chakra from that.
Not the throat chakra.
Yeah.
I
don't think many people could have handled that for sure.
So in the pods, you're not allowed to see each other. And I feel like dating in 2024, 2025, it's very, like, I'm looking through the social media. I'm deep diving. Do you search the social media before you date?
For sure.
Okay. But you don't get to do that. So you're just going off like hoping that this person is a good person and they're saying what they're saying and it's factual. But what are the red flags? Because I can look at somebody and they can look like a red flag to me. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't want to date that person. But you don't have that knowledge. Like, what were things in the pods that you were like, ooh, red flag, thank you?
Definitely, I could pick up on people's money mindsets, obviously. Like, I could tell if they had a kind of a broke boy mentality. And not in a sense of how much they make, but how, if they're good with their money or not. Or, like, your favorite restaurants. And I don't know. I could just tell a little bit about people from that for sure. And don't get me wrong, like I love Chili's and like a good dive bar. It's not like I'm like a bougie bitch. But
do you actually love Chili's?
I do.
I feel like Chili's is having a redemption.
No, they
like how
really
you had
are.
your fucking redemption. They are with the cheese.
Yes.
Those
I just had them at the Tulsa airport. So
10 out of 10.
The chips and salsa, amazing. Maybe we'll have that for dinner tonight. I don't know.
Do it, girl. Oh my God. No, but yeah. So just the way that they talked about.
Yeah, I'm big
money.
on life experiences. Okay. And I love doing things. I think that's like a huge important thing in my life. I don't want to be stuck in DC. I don't want to have like routine kind of life. So I think that's why I've always dated someone like in the music industry or someone a little flighty.
Yeah.
And I love that. So I could tell, are they going to support this flighty side of me or not? Or am I going to fly away? You know, like.
Okay, so first going back to the money thing, I do find it so interesting. And I don't think a lot of people will pick up on like the certain words that you use. Like they're not even just about money, but certain words that you use about yourself. Like if you're like, oh, I can't do that. Or like the can'ts, the don'ts, like the negative words.
Yes.
Like I'll never, for me, I don't care how much I make, I'll never call myself broke. I'll never make jokes about being poor. I'll never make jokes about like, you know, the self-deprecating type of talk.
No, I'm so glad you said that. That is 100% a red flag.
I think that would probably get me if I was in the pods. I'd be like, ooh, okay.
100%.
That's not,
you do well in there.
I know. I'm like,
when are they coming to LA?
No, I'm booed up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Absolutely not. Hell no. It's so funny. Me and my boyfriend.
You should do a date night, though.
Me and my boyfriend tried to see. I'm like, would I be into you? Like, we like shut our eyes. I'm like, if someone like a burglar walked in and saw us doing this shit, they'd be like, all right, we're going to exit out. But we were like, had our eyes shut and we were talking like as if we were on a first date. Like, I'm like, how would it be? Like, I don't know if he has a good voice though. So I'm like, okay, I think I'd be into you. But I feel like my voice, people always rip on me for it. So, because I sound like, oh my God. Like,
that's what everyone said about me in the pods too.
Yeah. But like, that's just how I talk.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, she's such a valley girl. I'm like, bitch, I'm from Chicago, first of all.
I was just there. I loved it. It was my first time there.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
What'd you do?
A few days ago.
Why was she there? Oh, is it adding up?
Oh, no. I was there for a concert, yes. For a concert.
Connecting the dots.
But it was my first time there.
Okay.
And I really liked it. Oh my gosh. We went to a really good restaurant. It was like an Italian restaurant. I went to the Starbucks reserved.
It's like a 5-floor Starbucks. Yeah.
I got like a coffee and a pastry on like the second level. And I'm like, what? There's more? And then I got to the bar. Like it's 10 a.m.
There's a bar?
Yes.
Like alcohol?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a martini flight, or espresso martini flight at like 10 a.m.
Okay, work. Damn. Okay, I didn't know that.
Must go.
I will. I'm going back in like a couple weeks.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. I was very excited about this Starbucks.
Oh, good. Okay, so wait. Yeah, what were we even talking about?
I have no idea. Valley Girl
Valley
accents,
Girls. Oh,
Chicago.
like this is why. See, we're fucking
Brittany went way off
track. But no, people will always rip on me for my accent. I'm just like, I can't help it. This is how I talk.
Yeah.
I have glottal fry or whatever it's called. That's like the
fry.
technical term. Yeah.
Really? Someone on my TikTok told me I had a lisp.
Oh.
And I think I low-key do.
Wait, I think it's so hilarious. People will like pick shit out like that you don't really notice about yourself. Yes. I haven't heard a lisp.
Really? Lisp.
Like, what do you lisp?
Something with the S's. Like, you can hear, I don't know.
We'll
leave it up to the comments.
You're like, wait, but maybe I do.
Do we have a lisp or not?
Damn. No, I was saying that me and my boyfriend were trying the Love is Blind experience. It's very interesting. I feel like I would just be so anxious and I'd be constantly thinking like, okay, like what does this person look like? You said that you had 2 ideas of like what Leo would look like. Like he would be like really short and nerdy or like...
with glasses. I don't know why really hardcore I thought he had glasses.
I could see him. Yeah. But it's just very... I couldn't imagine the anxiety of like, this person can look like anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. But do you feel after doing the experience, do you feel like Love is Blind?
I'm going to say yes and no. Because physical attraction does play a huge part for sure. But I will say I've dated people that I wasn't 100% physically attracted to for sure. I feel like I was just so connected to them otherwise that it didn't really make a difference to me.
Okay.
But obviously it didn't work out.
No, I mean, I've dated a few really ugly guys too. And it would be for the wrong reasons, to be honest. Because you know what's so funny? The ugly men will put you through the worst. Those are the men that will put you through hell. The hot guys, they're not.
That's so true.
They're not like really concerned about dragging you through hell.
I think it is important actually to date someone on the same level as you. If not, me personally, I'll feel kind of a little more empowered and like, you don't want that.
Yeah.
I like to be equally as intimidated by each other. I feel like that keeps like the attraction and the passion alive.
Yeah, if you feel like you're punching or like your partner's punching, it's like, oh, he could be out. Like, he's not going to get a bitch. You know what I mean? But like, if he's like attractive. It kind of feels good
to be slightly worried.
Yeah, it's like you're a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that's healthy?
No.
No, I know. I don't know.
They have to prove their emotional
maturity.
Yeah.
We've been jumping topics like psychopaths because I don't know how to tell time. And she told me that she has to be at LAX because you lost your bag.
I lost my purse under the seat of my seat.
Yes.
I'm very responsible. I do not lose anything.
Yeah.
And I lost it. And I didn't realize until I was literally almost to where I was going. And I was like, holy shit.
And you know that they don't let you back on the plane?
Yes.
I'm like, what is this rule? Like, why can't we come back?
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
Because I lost my AirPods on a plane once and I was getting off the plane. And then they're like, you can't go back in. I'm like, I was just on this thing. Like, just let me go back and turn around. And I couldn't.
That is, I wonder
I'm like,
why.
you guys just wanted my AirPods. Like, fuck you. After the show, did any of your exes try to rekindle or like get back with you?
I think they were mad.
Wait, why?
One was like, you look so stupid. Why would you do this? And I'm like,
first of all, who are you?
Yeah, I don't know. So that happened, definitely.
But no one tried to like get back?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
Which actually, you know what surprised me most? Everyone from the show was like, your inbox is going to be flooded after the show with guys. Nothing.
Crickets?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I know. Which is fine because I didn't.
Not like in that era?
I was not trying to see who I was going to get. But that actually surprised me.
That would surprise me too.
Yeah.
I thought your DMs would be, people would be tap in the fuck.
A few athletes. I think because I made this athlete comment, a few athletes did, but retired from them. Never again.
Which is interesting because now, you know, whatever you and your little boo are doing right now, but like it is a bit traumatizing, like dating people that are in the limelight.
Yeah.
Well, you've experienced it. So like, it's not, athletes I think are the worst, I would say.
100%. Musicians have always treated me very well.
Okay. So we're just going off what we know then.
Yeah. I feel like if you're a musician, you're a little more emotional. You're like connected to music. I don't know. They've just always been really good guys.
More sensitive.
Yeah.
But that's surprising. I would have thought that your DMs would be popping.
Fucked up.
Damn. But also, okay, when you got off the show, were you ready to date again? Or were you like, I need to collect myself? Because I do feel, even if you're like, I want to date, the energy that like you're putting out might not be. Like,
I was not putting out good energy.
Well, yeah, you thought you had a fucking demon inside you, girl.
I literally thought I had a negative attachment to me.
Yeah.
But I definitely went back to someone from the past. And I feel like that happens a lot after you get off the show. You're just so depleted energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically. And you just go back to what's comfortable, which I absolutely did, which was probably not a good decision.
Yeah. But I think a lot of us do that. Like we seek comfort in like what we know, and it might not even be the best thing for us, but because it's like we're humans, we're creatures of habit. There we go. It's very, I could see that happening. And like, did you guys like dated for a bit, or how did that like?
Yeah, we did. We dated for a little bit, for sure. You don't stay in that place, you know? And then the show comes out and you just feel like re-energized. I did all my little witchcraft work. No negative entities are now attached anymore. And then I was just like, that was not a great decision.
But I think any decision was probably the best one at the time. Yeah. And then it was like you learned from.
Yeah.
But that's
always learning, always growing.
So obviously you went through Love is Blind. That was a whole experience. But in dating in general, what would you say your number one advice is? Never
settle for like a dollar sign or like who they are as a person or like what their status is. Just make sure at the end of the day, if you are stranded on the side of the road and you need to call, like make sure they have your back in like the difficult moments. Know that if you're broken down on the side of the road and you call them, they're going to be there for you. Or like moments like that. I think that is like very important.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much for being on After Curfew.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, girl.